culture can make conversations go incredibly wrong incredibly quickly, and sometimes we can wonder why it happened. And it's because it's just a different viewpoint of the world. It's how we frame and perceive all the information coming in. Ting-Toomey, who's an academic, has produced a model that demonstrates how we communicate across cultures. And they looked at various parameters, and they said that we communicate on two different layers. There's a cultural layer and there's a personal layer. This cultural layer highlights the norms, the values and expectations that we inherit from our social environment, whereas the personal layer is our own personal experiences and our personality. So if someone seems rude and to indirect or direct, it might just be a difference, a cultural difference. So instead of assuming, you could always say, right, how do you normally approach this? Or you can say, what's important to you in this situation? Now, pausing and asking those sorts of questions can really be beneficial to communication, because when I've been in cross-cultural communication, sometimes the things that I notice is that on that personal layer, I think we're much more likely to be flexible. We're much more likely to understand our own nuances and accept that that's just something that I do and that's a way that I communicate. Whereas at our cultural layer, I think we're much more rigid and we're much more likely to stand firm and say, no, this is the way that it should be done. And if it's not going to be done like this, I'm not going to be happy, and to be much more blunt. It's just like being rude in various cultures, and in your own culture, when you feel as though someone has been rude, it's much more of an emotive reaction that you feel, because you see everyone around you behaving in that same manner. And so I would say those are the two main differences. The personal one is much more fluid and dynamic, because on a day-to-day basis, you're having to change that. Whereas the cultural one, if you spend all your time in that culture, when you come out of it and you see other people behaving in a different way, it's very, very alien and very odd.